Alright, so you're gonna see me about 3 times. I'm editing Will. As it turns out, we actually forgot to tell you what happens if you get a flat tire on the freeway before we start the video. What you gotta do, well, if you're on not the interstate, what you do is you basically find yourself a nice little flat parking lot to go into to change your tire. It's gonna be much safer than the side of a road. If you can't make it off the side of the road, that's fine. Say you're in some place like the interstate and you can't make it to the exit to get there, that's fine. Pull off onto the side of the road. Try not to have your back facing traffic. Just make sure that the side that has the flat tire, the tire you're changing, is not going to be the side which is facing traffic. And just only use that if you absolutely have to. At least try to get onto the exit ramp and then into a parking lot. It'll be infinitely safer. When changing a tire, it's important that you find a nice flat area with a level surface in order to change it on. Don't change it on a hill. That is a horrible, horrible idea and can only end poorly. Okay, step 1 when changing a tire is finding your materials. Materials that you will need will include the jack turner, and the tire iron. Also in step 1, you have to find the spare tire, normally located underneath the seats or underneath the back end of the car. Hi, so editing Will here. Upon review of the footage we had, we forgot to mention a couple of things, so you're going to see me about 2 more times after this. So we actually forgot to tell you how to take the spare tire off. I have it in this mode. If you can see it right down there, I'll check this footage later. You're going to see a 5-star nut, right here, one of the tools behind all this junk that I really just don't want to move. That's a lot of junk. But behind all those tools is essentially a end to the, I don't remember if it's not an end to the tire iron. It's basically a specialized tool. You put it in there, you twist it, and it will lower the tire on down for you to remove. If it's underneath the seat, you don't have that mechanism. I'm not sure what you have. But if it's underneath the car, that's what you do. So you're going to see me about twice more. Step 2. You have to loosen some of the lug nuts on the car in order to remove it. Keep in mind, we are having to remove the lug nuts while this particular tire is down, simply due to the fact that the parking brakes are on the front of this car, and we are removing a back tire. So in order to remove the lug nuts, we have to make sure the wheel is down on the ground. Otherwise, we would not gain any torque or leverage. Oh gosh. What the?
There you go. Try not to damage yourself.
Oh man. That was to the left, right?
Yeah. Didn't break it.
Uh-oh. Oh my word. That is how much force is required?
I think we may need to use our body weight for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be fine for removing the other 4. Okay, this is just being obnoxious.
Should I just continue filming it after you've already taken all 4 off?
I know. There's one other shot that I want. When removing lug nuts, it's important that you do not remove the nuts next to each other if you're doing a 5 lug nut tire. If you're doing a 5 lug nut tire, you do in a star shape. In this instance, we are doing the lug nut that is across from the one we first removed. That is not the safety lug nut that we are not going to remove. Remember, it is okay to use gentle amounts of body weight. In a 4 lug nut tire, you remove the one across from it, and then you do the same thing, removing the one across from it, and then just pick another lug nut to start up with. Remember, in 5 lug nut tires, never remove the one that is directly next to. And if you're going to use your body weight to try to remove it, please make sure that it is stable and you're controlling how much pressure is put on the tire iron at any time. Alright, once you've removed all, well in our case 4 lug nuts from your car, it's important that you put it up on a jack. Before you do that, you need to first engage the parking brake to make sure that your car doesn't roll forward. If your parking brake is not on the front tire and it is in fact on the back, you're going to need to put a block in front of your front tire in order to keep it moving. A piece of 2x4 or a text buck will work just fine. In the event that your car has a rear wheel parking brake, you can remove the lug nuts once you can engage the parking brake and remove the lug nuts once the car is already up on the jack. Once you have removed the lug nuts, you can use the jack. The jack must be inserted on a particular part of the car frame, such as this part right here, that is built for the jack to be put up on. To put the jack up, please insert the turn crank on top of the whatever you call that screw device and turn. The jack will go up with enough torque to lift the car, which is actually impressive. We're just filming this. Yeah, this process takes a little bit. Okay. Once you've gotten your car up on the jack, you have to physically pull off the tire. Pulling it off is a fairly easy process. Just make sure that your feet are not underneath the tire while you're pulling it off and are safely on the ground behind it. Hi, so in editing Will again, we forgot to actually tell you that you have to put the tire on. You do. You have to actually put it on. If it's a donut tire, it'll last maybe 30 miles, just be aware. If you do blow out a tire, you should probably use those 30 miles to get to a repair shop or, get to a place where you just can get an actual tire on it. If you have an actual tire, it's still recommended you go to like a repair shop or a tire shop to just get it looked at. Don't drive on the open road. Once you've gotten the spare tire off that's the wrong way, it's time to lower the jack. Lower the jack to allow the car to reach the ground safely. Then crank the jack all the way down and put it away. You're not going to need it anymore. When putting the lug nuts back on as your final step of your newly replaced tire, you first must finger tighten them in the opposite order of which you originally took them off. In our case, we're starting with, well, that lug nut, because that is the furthest one away from when we started. First, you must finger tighten them. Once you finger tighten all the bolts on, it's time to actually tighten them so your tire doesn't fall off. Do be warned to make sure you don't strip the bolt, so don't push too hard. Anyway, continue tightening them in the reverse order of which you took them off. You are almost done. You actually don't even have to fast forward this part. Uh-oh. Wait. Yeah.
Guess you didn't finger tighten that one much.
Okay.
That looks good. Don't strip the bolt.
Right. Once you've made sure that you haven't stripped the bolts, you can put your tire iron away and enjoy your newly changed tire. Hi, this is Editing Will again. So after you've replaced your tire, as I said earlier, you should just drive on down to like a repair shop or a tire shop, unless you absolutely have to be somewhere. And like if you have a donut, just go straight to a repair shop, straight to that. It's not worth blowing out a donut. Those things only last a little bit. If you have an actual tire, you can probably make it to wherever you need to go, but always go straight to some tire shop or repair shop. Like, do not drive around on a donut.